Hi everyone, I am Sharon and I'm the backend developer for the Event Pulse AI project, and I along with my teammate Rishav will be walking through the backend code base. And the yeah, here is the main.go. For this sprint we have implemented four different APIs which are delete event based on the ID, and the three different APIs for the authentication purpose. One is registering the user and other is for login, and the third one is to uh, get the current logged in user details. And these are the routes added for these APIs. And as you can see, the in the internal folder where I have added the authentication folder, which has all the authentication APIs and the services. As you can see, there are four different folders. Auth handler.go handles all the HTTP requests. As you can see, this is the route for the register, and as you can see, this is for the login, and this is for getting the user details by user ID. And the middleware actually gets the token from the uh, HTTP request, and all it pre-processes all the API requests, and which can be used by the services for the authentication purpose. The other is the models. As you can see, user.go has defined the schemas for the user register request and login request and the authentication response. As you can see, uh, the queries user.repository.go has all the uh, DB related querying for the authentication purpose. As you can see, create, which creates the user, and get by email, gets the user details based on the email ID, and the other is get by ID, which gets the user details based on the ID. And the authentication service is the main crux of the back authentication APIs. It does have the uh, authentication logic, and it uses bcrypt and the JWT for the authentication. As you can see, register creates the uses the email ID, name, and the password given by the user, and it is hashed and stored in the DB. And login the validates the password and the email provided by the user, and if it's successful, it will be uh, user will be logged in successfully. And get user ID here gives the returns the user details based on the ID, and the pass token and generate token and JWT secret sanitize user are the utility functions implemented for the authentication purpose. Uh, these are related to authentication, and I have also added the uh, delete API as well. Handler.go, as you can see, delete event handler has been created, and queries for the delete has been added, and this service for delete has also been added. uh, Now I will show this APIs in running. For that, let me start the uh, backend. Oh, no, I'll be starting the uh, server. I'm in Docker for the database. You can see Event Pulse database has been started, and now I'm running the backend. Um, okay, now I'll be using Postman to show you the APIs in running. Uh, this is the let us check the what are the current events. Here you can see these are all the events registered. I mean, and I will delete. First of all, I want to delete the ID 4. I'm delete event 4. As you can see, the API has been successful and we got the request to not for. Let's see whether the uh, event got deleted or not. Earlier, we could actually see the event with ID 4, but now it's got deleted. And this is for registering a user. As you can see, I'm giving this mail ID to create register the user. Uh, Actually, this email already exists, so we are getting a conflict. But if we give different email, uh, it's been created and the token has also been created. And they now login. Um, Login. As you can see, I'm giving a mail ID and this password. As you can see, the user has been successfully logged in and the token has been registered and the user details has been also been given back. I'm copying this token for getting the current logged in user details. As you can see, bearer, and I've copied the uh, a token here, and you can see the status of the API has been successful. If the token is wrong, for suppose I'm deleting just the S and see the it's an invalid token. We could and we could actually see the error. Uh, Thank you very much. These are the new APIs I added for this printer. Thank you very much.
Hi, I'm Rishabh. So I'll quickly walk through how I wrote and run unit test cases for this backend service. The backend is structured into two layers, a service layer which contains the core logic and a handler layer which handles HTTP requests. For testing, I used an in-memory SQLite database so the tests don't depend on any external database. For running the tests, first I'll enter the command, and here you can see all the test cases are being passed and executed. They're passing successfully. Now let's quickly walk through our code. First, we have service layer tests. In this, we have a test create event. In this test, I'm verifying that the service correctly creates a new event. I first initialize the service with an in-memory database, then create an event object with fields like title, description, location, and event date. Then I call the create event function. Finally, I assert that no error is returned and the ID is assigned, which confirms that the record was successful, inserted into the database. Then we have the test get events. In this test, I'm verifying that fetching events works correctly. I first insert an event using the service, then call get events. After that, I check that no error occurred and that exactly one event is returned. This ensures that service correctly retrieves data from repository. Now we go to handler tests. Here we have test create event handler, which is just part of code. In this test, I simulate an HTTP post request to create an event, which is this creates a JSON request body, send it to HTTP test.new request, and capture the response using HTTP test.new recorded. Then I call the handlers create event function. Finally, I verify that the response status code is 201 created, which confirms that the API endpoint works correctly. Then we have test get events handler. In this, in this test, I simulate the get request to fetch all events. First, I insert a new record using the service layer. Then I create a get request, pass it to handler, and capture the response. Finally, I check that the response status is 200 OK, which confirms that the endpoint is returning data correctly. The reason why I'm using an in-memory DB is because it avoids dependency on external database. The tests run faster and environmental environment is fully isolated. So to wrap things up, these test cases cover the core logic in the server's layer and the API behavior in the handler layer. This ensures both internal logic and external endpoints are working correctly. Thank you so much.